students. In the previous lecture, we have seen that the solution of Schrodinger wave equation has given the values of three quantum numbers: principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, and magnetic quantum number. Again, there arised the fourth quantum number, that is spin quantum number. In the previous lecture, I have also told you the definition of quantum number. I will repeat that definition, and in today's lecture, we will study in detail all these four quantum numbers. So, what are quantum numbers? The numbers which identify the state of an electron, which specify the energy associated with it, and also which give their location around the nucleus, that are called as quantum numbers. Now first we will study the principal quantum number. Principal quantum number. You know that this quantum number is denoted by symbol small n. We will study in detail about this quantum number. Now this quantum number gives the shell in which electron is present. We know that around the nucleus in the atom, the electrons are revolving in circular paths, and that paths are named as orbits, or that are called as stationary states or stationary energy levels. These stationary energy levels are also called as the shells. These are the main shells around the nucleus in which the electrons are revolving. So, this quantum number gives us the idea about the number of shell in which that electron is revolving. इलेक्ट्रॉन नेमका कोणत्या शेल मध्ये रिव्हॉल्व होत असतो हे या क्वांटम नंबरच्या सगळ्यांना आपल्याला माहिती होतं, आणि आपल्याला माहिती आहे की द शेल्स आर नंबर्ड ॲज n इज इक्वल टू 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and so on. ठीक है. So all these are the integral values. The principal quantum number always possess the integral values. Now depending upon these values, the shells are named as K shell, L shell, M, N and so on. Okay, you know these names also. You have studied these names in the lower standard. So, if n is equal to 1, the name of that shell or main energy level is 1. No, sorry, is K. If n is equal to 2, that shell is named as N. Similarly, if n is equal to 3, the shell is named as M. If the value is 4, it is named as N. If again n is equal to 5, that shell is named as O. In this manner, the shells are named with the capital letters. Now here, you will observe that as the value of quantum number increases, the size of shell also increases. That is, the distance of that shell from the nucleus also increases. Here, this distance is small, but the distance of the second shell from the nucleus has been increased. Again, for the fourth shell, it has been increased. Means, if the number of shell increases, the distance of that shell from the nucleus also increases, and that's why the size of that shell increases. Obviously, the size of atom will also increase. Again, this shell gives us the idea about the energy of the shell. The first point is that this quantum number gives us the idea about the main shell in which the electron is revolving. The second point, that is this quantum number gives us the size of the shell or orbit in which the electron is revolving. The third important point regarding this quantum number, that is this quantum number gives us the idea about the energy of that shell or orbit. As the value of n increases, the energy of that orbit also increases. Means the values of En, we have seen the formula to determine the energy of nth shell. If the number of shell increases, the value also increases. Means these values become less negative. Okay. In this manner, this quantum number gives us the idea about the main shells or the orbits where the electrons are revolving. Means with the help of this quantum number, you will get the idea about the main shell where the electron is exactly revolving. Now here, actually these are not only the shells, but these shells again possess orbitals. In the previous lecture, I have told you the meaning of orbital. The three-dimensional region around the nucleus where the probability of finding the electron is maximum, that is called as orbital. Now every shell possesses different number of orbitals, and that number of orbitals again depend upon the number of shell, that is the value of n. Here there is one formula to find the number of orbitals. Let's see. The number of orbitals in a given shell is equal to n square. So here if n is equal to 1, the number of orbitals are 1. This indicates that in the first shell, that is K shell, there is only one orbital. But if you see the L shell, where n is equal to 2, that is second orbit. In the second orbit, actually the number of orbitals are 2 square, means 4. Means here the second orbit will possess 4 orbitals. The orbitals are having different shapes. I will tell you about the orbitals later on. The third shell means this shell. This shell will possess how many orbitals? 3 square, means 9 orbitals. Similarly, the fourth shell will possess 16 orbitals, while fifth shell will possess 25 orbitals. Means every orbit or every shell again possess different number of subshells. For our convenience, I am showing the number of shells by this circle like this. Okay. The third shell is having 3 orbitals. The fourth shell is having 4 orbitals, just like this. Actually, the orbitals are not circular, but they are having different three-dimensional shapes. But I will show that shapes later on. Simply, in order to understand that orbitals, here I am showing that orbitals in this manner. Actually, these are the subshells, and in the subshells there are the orbitals. Okay. Here these are the subshells in which the electrons are revolving, and in the subshells again the orbitals are present. You will see that here in the second shell the 2 orbitals are present, 2 subshells are present, and in that subshells again the 4 orbitals are present. Here with the help of principal quantum number, you will get the idea about the number of orbitals and not about the subshells. The subshells are given by the second quantum number named as azimuthal quantum number. But with the help of this quantum number, again you can get the idea of number of electrons present in each orbit or shell, and that number is given by formula 2n square. If you take the first shell, here the number of electrons in it are 2. Means in the first shell only 2 electrons are revolving. But if you consider the second shell, here the number of electrons revolving around it are 8. Why? Because 2 multiplied by 2 square becomes 8. Okay. Similarly, in the third shell, the number of electrons will become 18. Let's see the third shell. 2 into 3 square, that is equal to 18. Means in this third shell actually 18 electrons are revolving. Similarly, in the fourth shell 32 electrons are revolving, while in the fifth shell 50 electrons are revolving. In this manner you can find the number of electrons revolving in a particular shell with the help of this quantum number. So remember well these formulas, with the help of which you can find the number of orbitals present in a particular shell and also the number of electrons revolving around in that shell around the nucleus. Now let's see the second quantum number. This quantum number is named as azimuthal quantum number, and it is denoted by symbol small l. Okay. Now this quantum number gives us the idea about the subshell. Here I have told you the subshells present in a given shell. Now how many shells are present in a particular shell? The number of subshells are given with the help of knowing the value of n. If you know the value of n, small n, that is principal quantum number, then you can easily find the number of subshells. Here the number of subshells in a shell is equal to n. Means what? If you take first shell, this one is first shell. In the first shell, how many subshells are present? Only one. Here I have shown that subshell. In the second shell, if n is equal to 2, in the second shell, the number of subshells are 2 and they are shown here. Similarly, in the third shell, the 3 subshells are present. Okay, in this manner, you can find the number of subshells present in a main shell. Now, these subshells give the shape to the orbital where the electrons are actually present. Means these subshells are giving us the shape of orbital. The principal quantum number has given us the size of orbital, but this azimuthal quantum number gives us the idea of shape of that orbital. Now here, what are the values of n? Let's see. The values of n are ranging or starting from 0 and they end to n minus 1. This is very important. Now let's see the first shell. N is equal to 1. If n is equal to 1, then what are the values of n? Let's see. Start the values with 0 and end it to n minus 1. That is 1 minus 1 means 0. Means for the first shell, how many subshells are present? Only one subshell is present, and for that subshell n is equal to 0. Similarly, if you take second subshell, in the second subshell, if you take the second shell, how many subshells are present in it? 2, because n is equal to 2. And the values of that subshells, that is n, azimuthal quantum number, for that subshells are starting from 0 and end to here n minus 1, that is 2 minus 1, that is 1. Is there are two values of n. Similarly, if n is equal to 3, n will be equal to 0, 1 and 2. Start with 0 and end up to 2, 3 minus 1. Means all the values are again just like this. Similarly, for n is equal to 4. For the fourth shell, the number of subshells are 4 and the values of n for that subshells are again 4, 0, 1, 2 and 3. In this manner, with the help of azimuthal quantum number, you will get the idea of number of subshells present in a given shell, main shell or orbit. Now, with the help of the values of n, you can give the names to that subshells. And how the names are given, I will show you. Here, if n is equal to 0, then the name of that subshell is S. The subshell is S. Okay. If L is equal to 1, that subshell is named as P. If L is equal to 2, it is named as, all the letters are small, it is named as D. Similarly, if L is equal to 3, it is named as F. If L is equal to 4, it is named as G and so on. In this way, the subshells are named. That is, if n is equal to 1, we know that there is only one subshell and that subshell is named as S. Because for that we have seen that L is equal to 0. For the second shell, that is n is equal to 2, we have seen there are two values of L. L is equal to 0 and 1, and therefore this second shell will possess the two subshells which are named as S and P. So these subshells will be named as S and P. Similarly, if n is equal to 3, the shells are represented as L is equal to 0, 1, 2. These are the subshells, and that's why they are named as S, P and D, because L is equal to 0 indicates S subshell, L is equal to 1 indicates P subshell, L is equal to 2 indicates 3 subshells. In this way, the third shell will possess S, P and D subshell. Similarly, you can find the names of the subshells present in the fourth shell, and the names will be S, P, D and F. In the fifth shell, 5 subshells will be present named as S, P, D, F and G. In this way, you can find the name of that subshell which is present in a main shell. Now, here you will observe that the number of subshells present in a shell are given by the values of n, and here maximum number of subshells that are equal to 2 into L plus 1. Here, let's see, if L is equal to 0, here the number of subshells are only 1. Okay, if L is equal to 1, the number of subshells are 3 and so on. And the maximum number of electrons present in a given subshell is given by formula 2 into 2L plus 1. So with the help of this formula, you can find the number of electrons present in a given subshell. Now let's see S subshell. How many electrons are present in S subshell? Let's see. L is equal to 0, and therefore you will find the number of electrons present in that subshell is 2. Okay. If you take the p subshell, here the number of electrons will be 6 because 2 into 2 4 plus 2 into 1 2 plus 1 3 3 2s are 6. Similarly, in the d subshell you will find 10 number of electrons, while in f subshell 14 number of electrons will be present if you put the value of L as 3. Similarly, if L is equal to 4, that is G subshell, here the number of electrons will be 8. How many electrons? Let's see, 2 into 4 plus 1, multiply it by 2. That is 18 electrons will be present in G subshell. So with the help of this formula, here you can find easily the maximum number of electrons present in a given subshell. So remember well these formulas. Now we will see the third quantum number, that is magnetic quantum number. This quantum number is denoted by symbol ml. Now this quantum number gives us the idea about the orientation of an electron around the nucleus. How the electrons are oriented in a given orbital, in a given subshell around the nucleus. Now what are the values of ml? Let us see. Here the values of ml are starting from -L, means that values depend upon the azimuthal value of azimuthal quantum number. They go through 0, that is -L to 0, and again end to +L. The values are starting from -L, pass through 0 and end with +L. Means their range is just like this, -L to 0 to +L. So let's see how many values are there for a given subshell. Now remember well, every subshell again possess सब-सबशेल्स. म्हणजे या सबशेल मध्ये पुन्हा सबशेल्स असतात आणि त्यांनाच आपण काय म्हणतो, ऑर्बिटल्स. ॲक्च्युअली सबशेल हा वर्ड वापरण्यापेक्षा ऑर्बिटल्स हा वर्ड योग्य आहे या ठिकाणी. म्हणजे सबशेल मध्ये पुन्हा शेल्स असणार आहेत आणि त्यांनाच आपण काय म्हणायचंय, ऑर्बिटल्स. आता प्रत्येक सबशेल मध्ये किती ऑर्बिटल्स असणार आहेत हे कशाच्या सहाय्याने सांगितलं जातं, तर या mlच्या व्हॅल्यूच्या सहाय्यानं सांगितलं जातं आणि ह्या व्हॅल्यू या फॉर्म्युल्यानं फाइंड आउट केल्या जातात. आता आपण पहिली सबशेल घेऊया, ज्यासाठी आपण L इज इक्वल टू 0 घेतलाय, म्हणजेच ती सबशेल कोणती आहे, S सबशेल. आता या सबशेल मध्ये mlच्या व्हॅल्यूज काय असणार आहेत पहा. The value will start from -L, -0 कधी आपण लिहित नाही, so there is only one value, that is 0. If L is equal to 1, the subshell is named as P subshell, and here that subshell has given the values of ml as, see here, -1 go to 0 and end with +L. म्हणजे इथं -L परत -L -1 -L -2 -L -3 कंटिन्यू केल्यानंतर तुम्हाला एका विशिष्ट ठिकाणी 0 मिळेल. परत L -1, L -2 and so on. Okay, here so the values of P subshells are given as -1, 0 and plus 1. If n is equal to 2, here the subshell is named as D subshell, and for the D subshell the values of mn are starting from minus 2. Let's see, minus 2 minus 2 minus 1, that is minus 1, then 0, then here they end with n, means here 2 minus 1, that is 1, 2 minus 2, that is 0. Okay. Here you will get minus L minus 1 and then L. Okay. So here the value will be 2. In this manner, you can find the values of ml for a particular electron. Actually, here the values must range like this: minus L minus 3, then 0 continuing, and then L minus 3, L minus 2, L minus 1, and up to N. You have to stop. In this way, for L is equal to 3, that is for F subshell, the values of mn are minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Means how many values are there? Here 7 values. In this case, there are 5 values. So these values are indicated by formula 2L plus 1. Let's see. For the second subshell, the values of 10 are 5. So how many total values are there? 2L plus 1, and that values are given with the help of this formula. They are ranging from minus L to 0 to plus L. In this manner, with the help of magnetic quantum number, you are getting the orbitals which are present in a given shell, and that number of orbitals are also given with the help of this formula, that is 2L plus 1. So this formula gives us the number of orbitals. Remember, when number of shells are given by formula n, number of subshells are given as 0 to n, and number of orbitals are given with the help of this formula, that is 2L plus 1. So in this manner, every subshell will again possess the orbitals, and the orbitals are having a three-dimensional structure. What are the shapes of that orbitals? We will see in the next lecture. Now let's see the next quantum number. Now remember well again, every orbital is having 2 electrons. Every orbital is having 2 electrons. So with the help of that number of orbitals, you can also count the number of electrons present in a subshell. Now let's see, for example, suppose I am taking the p orbital. For p orbital, we know that there is L is equal to 1. So how many electrons are present in it? Let's see, L is equal to 1, means the orbital is p. The subshell is p. And for this p subshell, the values of ml are given as minus 1, 0 and plus 1. And now the number of electrons in every orbital is 2. Means this orbital will possess 2 electrons, this will possess 2 electrons, and this will possess 2 electrons. So the number of electrons are 6. So here we can give a simple formula for counting the number of electrons as 2 into 2L plus 1. So the number of electrons in a given subshell is given by this formula, 2 into 2L plus 1. Let's see one more example. If L is equal to 2, that is if there is a d sub shell, then the d sub shell will possess how many electrons? Let's see, it will possess 10 electrons by putting the value 2 in this equation. We know that the d sub shell will possess 5 orbitals and every orbital possesses 2 electrons. So the number of electrons are 10. In this way, with the help of this formula, you can find the number of electrons present in a subshell if you know the name of that subshell. So remember well, here if L is equal to 0, that subshell is named as S. If L is equal to 1, the subshell is named as P. If L is equal to 2, the subshell is named as D. And if N is equal to 3, the subshell is named as F. And again, the number of electrons in that subshells are 2, here 6, 10 and 14. Here, this table is very important. This is name of subshell, and here these numbers are indicating the number of electrons present in that subshell. Okay, now let's see the next quantum number, that is the spin quantum number, fourth quantum. पहिल्या 3 क्वांटम नंबरच्या सहाय्याने आपल्याला कशाची माहिती मिळाली की इलेक्ट्रॉन नेमका कोणत्या शेलमध्ये किंवा सबशेलमध्ये किंवा त्याच्याही आत कोणत्या ऑर्बिटलमध्ये प्रेझेंट आहे हे आपल्याला समजलं. ठीक आहे, म्हणजे त्या इलेक्ट्रॉनची एक्झॅक्ट पोझिशन आपल्याला समजली. त्या इलेक्ट्रॉनची एनर्जी काय आहे याच्याविषयी देखील आपण या 3 क्वांटम नंबरच्या सहाय्यानं सांगू शकतो. पण तो इलेक्ट्रॉन आता रिव्हॉल्व कसा होतो? आपल्याला माहिती आहे की इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर रिव्हॉल्विंग अराउंड द न्यूक्लियस अँड दे आर ऑल्सो स्पिनिंग अराउंड देम. जसं पृथ्वी सूर्याभोवती फिरत असते, पण ती सूर्याभोवती फिरत असताना ती स्वतःभोवती देखील गोल फिरत असते. ही जी स्वतःभोवती फिरण्याची मोशन आहे त्याला काय म्हटलं जातं? स्पिन मोशन. आणि सूर्याभोवती जी फिरत असते पृथ्वी त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो? तिची ऑर्बिटल मोशन. Just like that solar system, we know that the electrons are also revolving around the nucleus in a circular path. So they are having the orbital motion, and also when they are revolving around the nucleus, they are revolving or rotating around themselves. ते स्वतः भोवती देखील फिरत असतात आणि न्यूक्लियस भोवती देखील फिरत असतात. आणि या स्वतःभोवती फिरण्यामुळं त्या इलेक्ट्रॉनला स्पिन मोशन आलेली असते. आता हे स्वतःभोवती फिरत असताना कशा पद्धतीनं फिरणार आहे? वेदर दे आर रोटेटिंग in a clockwise direction or in a anti-clockwise direction. That rotation is given with the help of the fourth quantum number, that is spin quantum number, and it is denoted by symbol ms. जर इलेक्ट्रॉन क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शनने रिव्हॉल्व होतोय या पद्धतीनं, ठीक आहे, तर ms ची व्हॅल्यू असते +1. ms ची ॲक्च्युली 2च व्हॅल्यू असतात. इफ इट इज रोटेटिंग इन अ क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन then that value is given as +1/2, and if it is rotating in anti-clockwise direction then the value of ms is -1/2. These are the spin states of the electron, and with the help of these values you can represent that spin states. If ms is equal to +1/2, you are saying that the electron is revolving around the nucleus in a clockwise direction, and that spin state can also be represented with the help of such arrow, half-headed arrow, whose head is pointing in a upward direction. That is, it is a up-headed arrow. In in some cases that electron can also be represented like this, double-headed arrow whose head is pointing in a upward direction. Similarly, if the value of ms is -1/2, here it will indicate that the electron is revolving in anti-clockwise direction, and that spin state is also given by using such down-headed arrow or with the help of such double down-headed arrow. In this manner, with the help of all these 4 quantum numbers, you can give the state of that electron, the energy associated with it, and also the exact position of that electron in a particular shell, subshell or orbital around the nucleus. Now here, determining the values of L, M and Ms are very important, and that values depend upon the value of N. So you have to remember all these 4 quantum numbers. How these quantum numbers are determined? We know that, again I will repeat, the principal quantum number is denoted by the integral values like this. The azimuthal quantum number is having the values ranging from 0 and n to n-1, while the magnetic quantum number is having the values which are ranging from -L, go to 0 and end with +L, while the spin quantum number is having either +1/2 value or -1/2 value. एका वेळी इलेक्ट्रॉन एकाच डायरेक्शनने फिरू शकणार आहे, म्हणजे एका वेळी त्याची एक तर व्हॅल्यू +1/2 असेल किंवा -1/2 असेल. आता हे जे कॅल्क्युलेशन आहे, व्हॅल्यूज ऑफ L, ML आणि MS हे सगळ्यात महत्त्वाचं आहे. आणि जर आपल्याला n ची व्हॅल्यू माहीत असेल तर या पॉसिबल व्हॅल्यूज तुम्हाला फाइंड आउट करता याव्या लागतात, तरच तुम्हाला त्या इलेक्ट्रॉनची एक्झॅक्ट पोझिशन न्यूक्लियस भोवतीची सांगता येते. सो हे जे कॅल्क्युलेशन आहे ते आपण त्याच्यावर आधारित जे एक्झाम्पल्स आहेत ते आपण नेक्स्ट लेक्चरला पाहूया. ठीक आहे, थँक्यू.